The spark of arrogance. The galaxy did not tremble when the Carith came. They were old raiders, their fleets spread across the trade lanes like vultures on carcasses. They chose their prey carefully, weak colonies, scattered freighters, isolated outposts. Their doctrine was simple: strike fast, strike cruel, and leave nothing alive to resist. On the edge of a blue dwarf star, they found Haven 9, a small human colony barely 2 decades old. A green world rich in rivers and sky, its domes glistened with steel and glass. Its children played beneath banners of Earth. The Carith came at dawn. Their warships cut through orbit like blades through silk. Bombardment followed, methodical and merciless. Fields ignited, domes shattered. Civilians fled into forests only to be hunted for sport. The invaders laughed on open channels, mocking their victims in a dozen tongues. One human envoy, sent to plead for mercy, was dragged before their command council. His words were calm: "Earth will remember." They slit his throat on camera and broadcast his death across the stars. The Carith called it a message. The galaxy called it business as usual. The feast of mockery. In the weeks that followed, the invaders celebrated. Trade stations buzzed with their victory songs. Alien diplomats joked that humans, still young to the galactic stage, would learn their place. Earth is a quiet planet, they sneered. Too civilized, too fragile. They will protest, perhaps cry for justice in the councils, but war, never. They drank to the destruction of Haven 9. They wagered on how quickly humanity would surrender. They told stories of how the humans screamed. Yet Earth answered with silence. No declaration, no protest, no vengeance. That silence was taken as weakness. But in truth, it was a silence of gathering storms. The quiet before the fire. In the halls of Sol Command, no voice was raised, no vengeance sworn aloud. Instead, the admirals leaned over maps of stars, marking targets not for punishment but for extinction. Orbital shipyards, once idle, roared to life. Entire continents were transformed into arsenals. Silence cloaked their preparations. No transmissions escaped the gravity of Earth. The galaxy whispered, "Perhaps the humans are broken." The Carith laughed louder. They could not hear the steel being forged in the silence. They could not see the dreadnoughts awakening under oceans and ice. They did not understand that humanity's patience is long, but their memory longer. The silence was not surrender. It was a sentence. The silence breaks. It began with a single transmission. A signal pulsed across the galaxy, cold, unadorned, undeniable. Haven 9 is remembered. Retaliation is underway. Then the stars themselves seemed to shift. From Neptune's orbit, fleets surged forward, armadas so vast they blotted suns. Carriers the size of continents launched wings of black-hulled fighters. Dreadnoughts, dormant for centuries, emerged with guns that could scar planets. On every open channel, one phrase repeated in every tongue. "You called it war. Now you will learn what that word means on Earth." Stations fell silent, borders froze, the Carith laughed no longer. The hammer descends. The retaliation came swift, precise, and merciless. First, the outlying Carith patrols vanished. Entire fleets reduced to silence within minutes, wreckage left drifting as warnings. Then, the colonies that had cheered the Carith raids found the sky darkened. Human fleets appeared in orbit without parley or demand. Fire fell like rain. Starports, fortresses, and palaces turned to glass under tungsten bombardments. The galaxy watched in horror as the humans moved not with rage but with calculation. They did not roar, did not taunt, did not celebrate. They simply executed. For every child burned on Haven 9, a world was scoured. For every family hunted, a city erased. For every drop of blood spilled, rivers of fire carved new scars across alien skis. The silence of Earth had become the silence of annihilation. Retribution unleashed. The climax came at Kareth Prime itself. Their throne world was ringed with defenses, orbital cannons, minefields, fleets sworn to protect their rulers. It had stood unconquered for centuries. No enemy had dared approach. Humanity did not approach. Humanity descended. Entire battle groups folded into orbit at once, surrounding the planet in a sphere of iron and fire. Every sunbeam was eclipsed by human steel. Then came the groundfall. Drop pods screamed through the atmosphere, streaks of flame carving the sky. Armored divisions landed like storms, their engines crushing cities beneath them. Resistance lasted hours, not days, not weeks, hours. The throne palace burned by dusk. The Kareth Council was dragged from their chambers, their boasts silenced, their arrogance turned to begging. No human words were spoken in reply. Only weapons answered. The ashes of empire. When the smoke cleared, the Kareth Empire was gone. Entire star systems had been depopulated, their fleets shattered, their banners turned to ash. The galaxy recoiled. Some whispered that Earth had gone too far. Others insisted they had done only what was necessary. All agreed on one truth: humanity was no longer a quiet, civilized newcomer. They were a force that moved like judgment. Silence spread once more, this time across the stars. Markets froze, empires trembled, and ambassadors wept behind closed doors. No one dared provoke Earth again. For silence had become their warning. The whispered legacy. In dark taverns and high councils, the survivors spoke of what they had seen. Of fleets that darkened suns. Of soldiers who advanced without fear, without joy, without cruelty, only inevitability. Of an enemy who answered blood, with annihilation, and mockery with extinction. They whispered one sentence, a sentence that became scripture across the galaxy. Never provoke Earth again. Because humanity had shown their nature. Patience infinite. Memory eternal. Vengeance absolute. They sat in silence while their world bled. And when they finally rose, the galaxy itself called it war.